Goodbye, Eleanor. You have been an awesome RV. Hey, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy campers.
And after losing a combined weight of more than 200 pounds,
we realized we had so much more energy for activities.
Come along with us as we explore the great outdoors.
And join us on a brand new adventure. And this is a new adventure, Joe. We are selling our RV.
So we put up a video that we were going to get rid of our RV. And today is the day.
I'm sad.
We had somebody come up. They took a look at it. We negotiated a price. They're buying the RV just the way it sits, all the batteries, everything. So I think they're getting a great RV, but this is a sad moment. It's like
bittersweet.
I'm excited, but I'm sad at the same point. I'm sad because she has been an amazing RV, but I'm excited because of some of the things that we have coming in the future.
Me too.
So right now we have everything hooked up, and I actually have some lacrosse games down in Miami, and the new owner, lives down in that area. So we're gonna bring the RV and actually deliver it to them. And from there, I'm gonna go and do my games, and we're gonna talk about a couple of things along the way. So while we're driving down to the Keys to drop off Eleanor, we were thinking this would be a good time to talk about some of the different things that you could do, some of the steps you could take to sell your RV in a quick and safe manner.
So number one, my suggestion would be clean the thing, right? Like clean it, show it in its best light, get rid of all of those personal touches. They're going to say that to you as a realtor if you're getting rid of a house, right? Like you don't want to have pictures of yourself hanging all over this RV on command strips. You want to make sure that the new owner can visualize themselves in this new RV. So clean it, take down those command strips, and really clean it out of all of your personal belongings. And then, of course, a deep clean is in order. Certainly, this is viewed as a rolling hotel room. So people want to feel like it smells completely neutral, sanitary, everything looks nice inside.
Now, along with cleaning it, you definitely want to go through and clean out the refrigerator and your tanks. I actually, had cleaned everything out, and then we utilized it a couple times, and we emptied out the black tank, and we had somebody coming to look at the RV, and when I was kind of just going through, making sure everything was presentable for them, when I went to flush the toilet opened, and I was like, oof, boy, does that smell bad. Because there was nothing in the black tank. So anything that might have been on the walls kind of started not having a great smell. So what I would say is clean out all your tanks the best you can, then add a little bit of water back into your black tank and even your gray tanks, and put something like, liquefy in there. When you put that in, it's going to help to break down anything, but also it's going to help with any kind of odors. This way, when they go to flush the toilet or run the water or something, they're not smelling like 6-month-old poop.
No.
So number two goes right along with number one in cleaning it. What you want to do is remove any accessories that you have in the RV that you don't want to get rid of. Think about buying a house. When you go to buy a house, if someone's got a ceiling fan hanging in that house, that's considered to be part of the house. Right. It is permanently attached to the house. So if you're going to sell your house and you don't want your ceiling fans to be part of the sale, you need to take them down before the new buyer or prospective buyer ever sees them for the pictures. So if you have extra batteries, solar panels, upgrades that you're not going to leave in that RV, you want to take them out before you ever move on to other steps. You don't want to give anybody an opportunity to come back to you later and say, hey, wait a second. When I saw the RV, you had an upgraded thermostat, and now that you're handing it over, it's not there anymore. So make sure you take any of those accessories out. One thing I would say about if you've modified your RV, you also want to bring it back to as close to stock as possible. Give you a great example. We eliminated the dinette in our RV. that actually depreciates the value even more, because you're going to get people who walk into it and say, where's the dinette?
This doesn't look like the review maybe I saw on YouTube.
So things like upgrading the refrigerator is one thing, but if you have, like different, again, things like removing your dinette or something, if you have any possibility at all to do it, I would restore it back. So a lot of people like to take down, their valances and stuff. If you have an RV and you're going to sell it again in the future, I would save those. Save all that stuff so that you can put it back in and present it as much as you can as the stock configuration. And then if you have extra upgrades like batteries and stuff, that's just something that's going to elevate the price a little bit, but not as much as you think.
Number 3 is take loads of pictures, more pictures than what you even think is necessary, and consider making a short video, a walkthrough video that you can attach to any advertisement or send to potential buyers. People like to see the details, so don't be afraid to not only take pictures of the outside and inside of the RV, but also the details of the unit. Show the refrigerator, show the oven, show what the bathroom looks like. The more details, the better. Think about yourself as a customer. You'd rather see more photos than less photos. There's nothing more irking than seeing like even a potential house that you were buying and they just show you a picture of the outside and maybe one picture of the inside of the house. You really want to see more details because that's already going to project some full disclosure and transparency of yourself as the seller. If you seem like you're hiding information and details, not only are customers going to have more questions that you're going to have to answer, but it's going to seem like you're shifty.
So number 4, you really do want to be transparent. I mean, Rachel talked a little bit about being transparent in the form of pictures and letting people see everything, but you want to be transparent with the RV in every single aspect. If you've had problems with the RV, like maybe electrical problems, or you had a roof leak, or you've had to do some repair work, make sure you disclose that. You want to be open and honest with everything. A good way to really make a new buyer or a prospective buyer feel comfortable with the RV that you're buying is by going ahead and hiring an RV inspector right off the bat. If you go to sites like RV Trader and stuff, they actually offer that, where you can hire a professional, RV inspector to come in. They'll give an entire report of everything that they find on the RV, and then you could present that to prospective buyers. The other thing you want to do is, if a prospective buyer comes to you and says, I really want to buy this, but I want to have my own personal inspector come in, you need to allow that. I can tell you, for me, if I'm looking at any RV, whether it be a used RV or an RV from like a show or an RV at a dealership, if they tell me I cannot hire an inspector, or the inspector has limitations like they can't go on the roof, or they can't turn on the propane, I'm walking away, because in my mind, you're hiding something. So if somebody wants to have an inspector come in, allow it. Now, I would tell them that there's 2 stipulations with having an inspector. Number 1, the inspector, I guess 3 stipulations. The inspector must be licensed and insured and provide you with copies of the license and the insurance that inspector is carrying. The second thing is you need to say that the prospective buyer is responsible for the cost of that inspector, and it needs to be paid upfront before you sign any paperwork. So if I come to you and say, hey, I want to buy your RV, I need to understand that I'm paying for that inspector, even if I'm not buying the unit. And the third stipulation is the inspection must be done prior to the sale, that they can't hire an inspector after the sale. The inspector says there's a bunch of problems, and then they expect their money back. You can get it done before we do anything or not at all. That's their choice.
So number 5 is do your research when it comes to what your RV make and model is selling for. And there's lots of places that you can do that research. You can go to Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, RV Trader. You can also go to a local RV dealership and get a quote from them. Now, understand that's going to give you a very lowball quote, but at least it shows you some place to start. Also, you need to keep in mind that whatever upgrades that you've done to your RV aren't necessarily going to translate into your sale price. Think yard sale here, right? I mean, what you think that it's worth is going to be different than what a seller is going to be willing to purchase it for. So just because Joe and I have put $25,000 into this RV Eleanor, which we purchased for $25,000 originally, it doesn't make Eleanor worth $50,000, even though the memories we've made in her are priceless.
So now that we have done our research on how much they're selling for in the open market, it's time to move on to number 6. And number 6 is set a realistic price. You're going to go online and you're going to see these things ranging from all different, like prices, from low ball numbers to high ball numbers. Rachel mentioned going to a dealer. A dealer is going to give you a figure like significantly, probably about half of what it's worth, but at least you know what you could get worst case scenario if you needed to get rid of it. But just remember, RVs depreciate. This is not an appreciating asset. So you're not going to get what you paid for it, and you're probably not even going to get what you owe on your loan. So you want to set a realistic price, but you also want to not put up your low ball price.
Make sure that you put some room in there for hagglers.
Yeah, people, like Rachel said, are going to be like garage sale, and everybody wants a deal. So if you absolutely have a bottom line price of $25,000, set it for $26,000 or $27,000. So number 7, get all of your paperwork together ahead of time. Make everything super easy so that when you find a buyer, you can hand everything off very quickly. For example, I have all of my owner's manuals right here from Eleanor in this package. You want to be able to give them the owner's manuals from the RV if you have them, owner's manuals from any upgrades you've made, if you've added inverters, batteries, done your roof. All of that kind of stuff, you want to make sure you have all the paperwork for it. And the paperwork could be owner's manuals, warranties, bill of sales. If you've got different types of things like service that you've done, maybe you've had your bearings or your brake service, you want to give all of that documentation to make the buyer feel more comfortable. The other thing you want to do is, if all possible, pay off your loan. It's going to make selling it so much easier because you're going to have a free and clear title. So get all of that different information together so that when you find a buyer, you can immediately go into everything. The other thing that you want to do is make sure you have, again, your title if you have it, and then also start putting together a bill of sale. There are a lot of different websites where you can actually have a free bill of sale done by a lawyer, and just go in and you enter all the information, and then it's going to make it much easier to sell.
That brings us to number 8, which is use listing services to go ahead and list your RV. Things like Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, RV Trader. Now prepare yourself. Some of these listings are going to cost you, so you want to make sure that you are budgeting for the ads that you need to place. Also, be on the lookout for scammers, because there will be people that will try to lowball you or swindle you by asking to, buy your RV over the phone, sight unseen, that sort of thing. So be on the lookout for potential scammers.
Since Rachel was talking about potential scammers, let's move on to number 9, because number 9 has to do with how are we going to get paid? And you're going to have to be careful. We're talking about a lot of money. You could be talking about anywhere from $10,000 all the way up to $250,000, and you don't want anybody scamming you. So you're going to have to figure out how are you going to get paid, and there's a few ways to do this. Number 1, my number 1 suggestion is you are not taking a check, and you are not taking a credit card. No matter what their limit is on the credit card, no matter how you can do the processing fees, because there's always a chance with a credit card that they can come back and decide with the credit card company, oh, I didn't make that charge, and they can cancel checks. So the only, to me, acceptable form of payment would be cash, if somebody's got that kind of cash, money, not a money order rather, but a bank check. Or the best way would actually be a wire transfer from the bank. Maybe you can go with them to their bank and they could wire transfer the money and do everything that way. Things are going to get a little bit more difficult if you have a loan where there's now a lien on the RV, because you're going to have to involve your bank. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but the best thing that you can do when it comes to receiving money is make sure there is no way that they can take the money back. That's why cash and wire transfer is going to be your best friend. Once you have it, it's yours.
So this may seem a little bit out of order, but no, we're going to move on to number 10, which is reply to inquiries in a timely fashion. I think, though, it is important for you to establish how you're going to get paid first so that you can answer these inquiries as they come in. But you want to be sure that you respond quickly. Some people may be searching for an RV and only have a weekend to do it or a week to do that sort of thing. So they're going to purchase right away, chances are. So you don't want to miss an opportunity. But at the same time, you need to set boundaries for yourself. You can't be leaving your workplace 4 times a week until this thing gets sold. So have some clear hour to hours where you will be able to show the RV, but as far as when the inquiry comes in, you can answer it by text or by email right away.
Now, I will tell you some of the experiences that we had that you can be on the lookout for. It was challenging for us to sell the RV because we have been doing so much traveling. You know, we went on a cruise, we had a family vacation, we had a conference we had to go to. So trying to arrange meetings with people made it a little bit more difficult for us. And especially considering we were trying to get it sold before we head back out of town on April 1st. But you do want to, have a little bit of a flexible schedule, but also, like Rachel said, don't change everything for it. Be prepared. People are going to want to come see it more than one time. Somebody may want to just come up and see it and then do the deal later on or send an inspector, and you have to be willing to do that. Now, we did talk a little bit earlier about, the whole idea of scammers, and I wanted to just give you one that came across with us, and this is something to be careful about, and that's why you want to have, the whole what your schedule is going to be ahead of time. Somebody contacted us through one of the listings. I think it was the RVT listing. And they were basically like, I want to buy it. And they were willing to pay full price sight unseen. That is red flag number one. Wait a second. You want to buy it sight unseen at full price?
No question.
That's a red flag. Then they were like, here's what I want to do is I'm going to send you the money. Tell me how you want me to send it. And then once it clears, we will go ahead and I will arrange a transport company to come pick up the RV. That's red flag number 2, because number 1, you wanted to pay for it full price without seeing it. Number 2, you're going to send me money and then I don't have to send you the RV until the money clears. That's another problem. But then the fact that you want to buy it and never see it, you're going to send somebody else to see it. My answer to them is actually what our bonus is going to be. The bonus one is consider using an escrow company. So when I went to him and I'm like, wait a second, you want to buy it, you haven't seen it, you're going to pay full price and you're going to send somebody else, fine, I will do that. We're going to work with an escrow company. I will leave a link for one down below. They're not super expensive. It's going to cost you a couple $100. But what's going to happen is the buyer would send the money to the escrow company. The escrow company is now going to hold the money until you hand over the RV, and then the buyer tells the escrow company with you right there, I've got the RV, and then the money releases to you. As soon as I told this prospective buyer that I wanted to use an escrow company, I never heard another word from them because they were trying to scam us. So you have to be careful about that. So utilize the bonus thing. Yes, it's going to cost you a little bit of money, but in the end, having an escrow company is going to protect you as the seller, and it's going to protect the buyer from possibly giving money without ever getting back the RV. So that is going to be our 10 tips plus a bonus on how you can sell your own personal RV. Now, if you like seeing videos like this, please do us a favor. Hit that like button down below. It really does help build the channel. But more importantly, it helps us know what kind of videos you guys are looking to see.
Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the little bell button. And that way, every single time we upload a new video, you'll be alerted to it.
Till next time,
Happy camping!